Greetings and welcome back, gentles and ladiesmen, to another Spyrotacular playthrough here on Exoparadigm Gamer Plays, or EPG Plays, whatever the fuck it's called. This, my friends, is Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage for the PlayStation. It's another fun game, and I'm excited to be showing it off for you fellas, so let's hop right to it. So as you can see, I had kind of a recording bugaboo, so we're gonna overwrite this file real quick.
Is this rain ever gonna stop? I've forgotten what the sun looks like. We should go on vacation. Somewhere warm, somewhere sunny. Dragon Shores! Yeah, I haven't been there since we kicked Nasty Nork's butt. How about it, Sparks? You up for a vacation at the beach? Last one there's a Nork!
Is it working, Professor?
Almost. Just a few more adjustments to these orbs and...
Maybe this isn't such a good idea. Bringing a dragon here could just make Ripto angrier.
Calm down, Hunter, and stop fidgeting.
But you saw the professor's book. They have claws like this, teeth like this, and they spit fire like this. Puh, puh. They sound much more dangerous than Ripto.
That's exactly the point. A dragon is our only chance of stopping Ripto, and you know it.
It's working! It's working! I've got a dragon!
Whoa, rough landing. Hi, which way's the... beach? Hey, stop staring. Haven't you guys ever seen a dragon before?
You're a dragon?
You got a problem with that, pussycat?
Well, well, someone forgot to invite me to the party. Were you trying to keep something from me? A dragon? You brought a dragon to Avalar? I hate dragons! Yeah! Ow! Crush! Kill it! Kill it! Go! You imbecile! You ate my scepter! I'll deal with you later!
Who is that jerk?
That was Ripto, and we have to get rid of him. He's causing all sorts of trouble around here, but I haven't got time to explain. Here, take this magic guide to Avalar. It'll help you begin to understand our worlds. Right now, I have to follow Ripto and see what he's up to. I'll meet you in Summer Forest, okay?
Hey, wait a minute! How do we get ourselves into these messes, pal?
All right, the adventure begins indeed. And before we get too far along here, I gotta change a few settings. Let's see. And we'll turn that off because fuck you, Abith. And yeah, that looks good. So now we can start out. Alright, folks. This is Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage, also alternatively titled Spyro 2 Gateway to Glimmer, with a very cheap-looking logo to go along with that.
Spyro! Welcome to Glimmer! Unfortunately for us, a mob of lizards just showed up and started stealing all of our gems. Can you stop them?
So that's our setup for this level. Actually, funnily enough, this might be the only level in the game that doesn't have like the little intro thing, but So as you can see, everything's the same and nothing's the same. We are still collecting gems and running around and charging and flaming things, but a lot of the stuff from Spyro 1 that you might have recognized is not here anymore, or it looks different. For example, as you can see, the gems all have completely different shapes now. The red ones still look like the ones from Spyro 1, but all the other ones have gotten unique shapes to go along with the colors, which is something that will carry over to every other game in the series. The controls feel a little bit different as well, like they feel much tighter than Spyro 1, so if I'm going to compliment this game for anything right off the bat, I can definitely say that the controls are an improvement. Spyro's charge is a little bit, and his charge jumps especially are a little bit slower and have more reach, so you aren't constantly slamming into walls if you're charging around like I tend to do. And let's see, baskets have replaced the treasure chests from the first game, so we're going to be in pretty much the way that this game looks in terms of like the gems and the baskets and the vases and all that will carry over to every other classic series Spyro game from this point on.
Hi, Spyro. I'm a friend of Alora's, and she's asked me to help you out. Whenever you find me, I'll remember your progress like this. That zap means that if you get into trouble, I'll return you to this place. See you around.
Also, fun fact, actually I'll save that for later when the character reappears. I don't know, whatever. You might remember the Fawn character we met earlier named Alora. She is voiced by a voice actress named Melissa Disney, who I don't know if she has any relation to like Walt Disney or anything like that, but she previously would later go on to star in another Insomniac Games title called Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal, and there she appeared as a character named Courtney Gears. Fun fact, the person who voiced Courtney Gears also voices Alora. Let's go talk to this guy real quick.
We gem cutters are a bit too short to climb these ladders. Looks like you are too. After you learn to climb, come back to Glimmer to see me.
We can't climb that yet. That's a brilliant idea for a first level.
You must be the dragon everyone is talking about. Well, dragon or not, I'm afraid there is a small fee to open the bridge. It will cost you 100 of your gems to cross.
Oh, I don't know, guys. I don't know if we can afford that.
Thank you, Mr. Dragon. Spyro, was it? You can now use the bridge whenever you want, free of charge. I hope we meet again, when you have even more gems.
So, you might remember back in Spyro 1, the structure of it was basically Spyro's trying to defeat Nasty
To get a good look around, hold down the triangle button. Try using triangle to look around this cave.
So, yeah, and you can see that there are some gem lamps in the ceiling, but we can't do anything with or about them quite yet. So, you might remember back at Spyro 1, the structure of the game was Nasty Nork has turned all of Spyro's dragon's friends to crystal and transformed all of the dragon's treasure, the gems, into enemies. And so basically what you had to do was collect that stuff and the dragon eggs in order to get the balloonists.
Spyro, thanks for helping us fight off the lizards. Please take this talisman of Glimmer as a sign of our gratitude.
Basically you had to collect gems, free dragons, and get back the dragon eggs from the thieves.
This magic portal next to me will take you to Summer Forest, one of the homeworlds of Avalar.
So basically in Spyro 1 you had to free dragons, collect gems, and get back the eggs from the egg thieves, and depending on how many you had collected, the balloonists in the Dragon Realms would offer you transport to other parts of the world so that you could, basically get closer and closer to Nasty's lair and then finally confront the Nork himself, which Spyro did successfully in the last game, I might add. But in this game, the structure is a little bit different. Enemies do not drop gems because in the first game they literally were the gems transformed into enemies. In this game, enemies do not drop gems, they drop spirit orbs, which power up the power-ups, which are back from Spyro 1 in a much bigger way. As you can see, there's that gate down there. Every time you defeat an enemy, you get a spirit orb, and when you've collected enough spirit orbs, the power-up gates will activate.
Great! The super Fly power-up is active, and you can restart our gem lamps. Flame all the lamps quickly, and the big gem lamp will light. The power-up will give you enough magic to fly for a short time.
So here we have our first mini-game, our first little side quest dealio. Did somebody say side quest? Indeed I did, mysterious man with a distinct voice. There are a bunch of side quests in Spyro 2, but we will get into that more as that becomes relevant. And so there we have activated all the gem lamps with a quick little jaunt around the stage.
Thanks for helping me light the lamp, Spyro. A fairy gave me this orb, but I like gems better. You take it instead.
And so already we've been introduced to all of the collectibles in Spyro 2. And see, we'll have even more stuff to grab up here. Once again, I do find that Spyro 2 does a pretty good job, just like the first game, of, you know, using 3D space effectively and making you think outside the box. And I don't know, probably about on the same level, maybe a little less, I don't know. I guess I'll offer you my ultimate conclusion on that when we reach the end of the playthrough, but we have another side quest that we gotta do real quick. And we'll talk more about kind of the structure of the game from there and stuff. There's another guy to talk to.
These little lizards have eaten my entire crop of gems. I've tried hitting them with rocks, but they're too fast for me. You can try using one of my rocks. If you have any questions, just ask me.
Alright, so here's what we gotta do. If you try to jump up over there and get after him that way, he'll just go in the little, you know, hole, like a little gopher or a gremlin or something. So you do have to hit him from a distance with the rock. And the little bastard won't come back out. There he is. So basically we pop up over here, we go into first person aiming mode with the triangle button like Zoe taught us earlier.
Nice shooting! Follow me to the next lizard.
And actually you can just, you know, swallow it up and then jump and shoot at it like a Mega Man game or something, but I find it's a little easier just to aim at all of them all the time. Like, they're gonna be showing us how to aim and shoot later anyway, so it's not like... Bouncer, what are you doing down there, Mang? Need you to come up here, friend. Alright.
You can spit pretty far, Spyro! See if you can spit all the way to that lizard!
So I'll show you guys what I was talking about earlier. Like, you don't have to be in first-person mode, you can literally just jump and shoot at him, but it's not as accurate because you gotta basically point your face at him, and if you're gonna go for that kind of precision, you might as well just use the first-person mode and, you know, have the reticle and all that shit. Here, he's probably gonna teach us how to do it in first person, but he's slow, so just give him a minute.
To hit that lizard up high, you'll have to aim. Press and hold the triangle button to aim, then press circle to spit.
Alright, here we go. Just like I was saying, and as you can see, there's a lot more dialogue in this game than there was in the first the first game. I remember saying something to the effect in my Spyro 1 playthrough that there's technically like twice as many cutscenes in Spyro 1 as there are in the sequels. Like, there's like almost an hour's worth of cutscene content, whereas in this game there's only about like 30 minutes worth at most, I think, something like that. But that's only if because, you know, obviously all the cutscenes where the dragons unfroze and talked to you count as cutscenes in Spyro 1, but if you also count like the dialogue things with the piss yellow text, that I love oh so much, that is oh so classic in the Spyro series, then there's probably even more dialogue in this game than there was in the first one, and there are more characters to interact with in Spyro 2 as well. So Avalar definitely feels much more lived in, and that's not really Spyro 1's fault so much, because, you know, obviously all the dragons were frozen and only talked to you like when you freed them, so it made the world feel much emptier because there were no dragons walking around or anything. But, you know, Spyro 2, it's got a cast of kooky characters to look at, and...
Yay! You saved my crop of gems from the lizards! Here, take this orb. Some girl with wings dropped it here yesterday.
Wow, yesterday, I thought the fairies only just scattered the orbs. Actually, no, spoilers. Oh boy, I've spoiled the plot rotten. Alright, so that's honestly all we can do. Like, as you can see, we've got our lovely little status screen to look at with everything in the level that you can collect. And we've got this nifty new guidebook as well that's pretty much the same thing as the inventory screen, except a little bit more visually interesting, I suppose. See, we've got the talisman, 2 orbs, and a bunch of gems. And that's all we can get for now, believe it or not, because Spyro 2 introduces backtracking to the formula, and we'll talk more about that later, but suffice to say, we can't climb up that ladder to get that supercharged or that super fly gate because the game decided that we just shouldn't be able to do that yet. And that's not too out of place in other collectathon games like Banjo-Kazooie 1 and 2. Both have that sort of thing in there where you have to unlock moves from the characters in order to get to some things, so you have to come back and stuff like that, so.
Oh no! Oh, hello. We didn't get a chance to introduce ourselves before. My name is Alora.
Hi, I'm Spyro. What are you, some kind of goat?
I'm a fawn, you dork.
Oh, sorry.
Did you meet the gem cutters in Glimmer?
Yeah, they gave me a souvenir too. They called it a talisman.
They gave you a talisman?
What, is it special? I just stuck it in the guidebook you gave me.
There are 14 talismans in Avalar, and they are all magical. If you can collect enough of them, they can be used to defeat Ripto. Hunter, where have you been?
Got a little lost.
Spyro's going to help us collect the talismans.
I am?
He is?
Spyro, look. There's no way you can get to Dragon Shores right now. Ripto and his monsters have taken over the castle here in the Summer Forest. You're going to have to go to Avalar's worlds and convince the inhabitants to give you their talisman. You can keep them in your guidebook.
Hey, I could do that. Why doesn't the dragon just torch Ripto?
Hunter, you can't even keep track of your running shoes. How can we trust you with 14 talisman? If you come across any orbs, they're important too, but I'll tell you about them later.
Okay, no problem. I'll collect a few talismans, give Ripto the old hot foot, and be in Dragon Shores by lunchtime.
So that's the setup, folks. Spyro wants to go on vacation after his defeat after him defeating Nasty Nork and resolving whatever happened after the 100% ending that is never addressed or brought up again. And so now he is in the land of the land of Avalar, which has been invaded by the malicious Ripto, who we'll learn more about in another cutscene later on. But yeah, suffice it to say, and I did mention that there was an alternate title for this game. That is, Spyro 2 Gateway to Glimmer. That is the European title of this game. And as you can see, lives have been replaced. Like, it used to be little silver Spyro statues you'd pick up, but now they're little blue butterflies in glass jars.
Spyro, this is the homeworld called Summer Forest. There are portals to many of the Avalar worlds around here. Unfortunately, Ripto has taken over the castle, and we need your help. Start by retrieving the talismans from each of the worlds you go to.
Yeah, so that's basically so yes, Spyro 2 Gateway to Glimmer is the European title, and the North American title is Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage. And I believe there was a Japanese version of this game as well, which is apparently a mild improvement over the god-awful Japanese version of Spyro 1. But as far as I know, it's just called Spyro 2. And yeah, fun fact, Ripto's name was actually derived from the Japanese Spyro 1. The Japanese logo for Spyro, to English readers, looks like Ripto. And I guess Insomniac saw that and, hey, that's a cool name, we'll use that for our villain in the second game or something like that. So as you can see, water does not kill us anymore, and we can actually swim in it, but not yet. And that's part of a pattern you're going to be noticing with Spyro 2, the backtracking elements. But thankfully, this is one of the less egregious cases, and we can kind of work our way around it for now. So I'm not going to act like this is that particular instance is like game-ruining or anything. It's just kind of a mild inconvenience. There are other instances that are not so mild, and we'll talk about them as they become relevant. If feel like I've said that a lot in this part, but it's kind of true. There's a lot to talk about with this game, and we got an entire playthrough to talk about it all. These things are replacing the metal chests. They're, you know, metal vases. They work the same way, so not too much to say about those.
Hi, Spyro. You look like you're pretty agile. Let's try putting it to a test. See if you can get up this first step. Press X and hold it down to get more hang time.
This is Hunter. He's part of the Avalar cast.
Not bad. Now to make this next jump, you'll have to glide. Press X to jump, then press X again at the top of your jump to get the maximum glide distance.
So far the platforming's the same as it was in the first game, jumping and gliding.
Nice job. Now try to do a hover. Press X to jump, then press X again to glide. Then when you reach the end of your glide, press triangle to hover. Hovering will give you extra height and distance.
So hovering is kind of a weird idea in terms of how it controls. And I actually think some of the later sequels do it better.
Very good. Now for the hardest leap of all. You'll have to give this one everything you've got. Get a walking start, jump, glide, and hover just before you get to the edge of the platform. Don't forget to press forward on the D-pad or analog stick when you hover.
So basically how it works is you glide and then you press triangle and he'll do like a little shimmy in the air to get you a little extra distance.
You're a pretty good athlete. If I hadn't lost my running shoes, I'd take you on for real. For now, here's an orb for your collection.
And I'm not really sure why they decided to map it to the triangle button. Feels like it should be on the X button, the jump button, you know what I'm saying? But for some reason they decided that they didn't want to do that. But anyway, let's talk to Moneybags real quick.
Sorry, Spyro. I'd love to teach you how to swim underwater, but not as much as I'd love to take your treasure.
So we need exactly 500 gems to learn how to swim. Because for some reason, Spyro couldn't just know how to do that when the game began. And yeah, so we're not gonna be going to Idle Spring. Actually, yeah, we're gonna be skipping that level for now and moving on to the second level over here, Colossus. And for reasons that'll become apparent when we go to Idle Springs, but has something to do with swimming, as you could probably guess. Yeah, someone just got fucking murdered, and believe it or not, that is not the only time that's gonna be happening in Spyro 2. This game loves murder, and it might be one of the darkest games ever made.
Rampaging around our home, but we've managed to trap him by shutting all the doors. If you talk to the other brothers, they will open the gates and guide you to him.
Oh man. So that sounds like quite the predicament, but unfortunately, we're gonna have to save that for the next episode. Join me in episode 2, and we'll start exploring Colossus, talk a little bit more about the game's structure and what's going on here, and get a little bit more into the mini-games, that kind of thing. Until next time, I'm X Paradigm Gamer, and I hope you enjoyed the video.